Is DeMeco Ryans a better coach than Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, it's looking like it. It's looking like it because you have one guy, who's doing all he can to put what we thought was going to be a deficient player in Talanoa Hufanga in so many positions that are making him look so great, and not like it's Hufanga who's just relying on Ryans, because Hufanga is just, to me, he's been the best defensive player through 3 games easily after Nick before Nick Bosa. Whereas Kyle, it's like, he has, even though you have a limited quarterback, he's personally like withdrawing his own playbook and isn't putting enough to really figure out a way, tinker away to like, where was that? To me, I just kept watching that game and thinking, where's that wrinkle play, or where's the trickery, where's the play action, or something like that, or anything.
Where's something new? Where's something new?
To bring in the defense, like the Tide, and then just where do you get the situations where you shift the defense into one side of the field and then you counter it? I know execution and everything part of it, but he just doesn't find the comfort zone. Whereas DeMeco finds everything. It seems like everything he calls is perfect. And look, he hasn't played against really great offenses. This was the greatest offense he's faced so far, which isn't saying too much.
Right.
But still, the fact that they still had a fairly threatening offense, and he went out there and only allowed 9 freaking points. Are you kidding me? So that means through 2 weeks, his defense has allowed 9, 0. How much did they allow for the Bears technically? Well, the Bears one, it was really, they kind of like they played well, but it's just so many moments they just choked up on. They've been playing lights the freaking out. So you can't right now. It's definitely DeMeco Ryans.
You brought up an interesting point with Hufanga. Let's compare how DeMeco Ryans groomed and developed Hufanga to how Kyle Shanahan groomed and developed Trey Lance. Okay, Trey Lance was the 1st round pick, the 3rd pick in the draft that year. Hufanga just a 5th round pick. I mean, just a 5th round pick. But with DeMeco, he praised him every step of the way, was enthusiastic about him every step of the way. Found opportunities to get him on the field as a rookie, even when he wasn't starting. There would be packages for him. There would be specific personnel groupings. There would be ways to get him on the field, even though he was still a rookie and making mistakes. And now, year 2, he looks like the best player on the defense, or one of them. I mean, DeMeco couldn't have developed that player any freaking better. And then just the contrast with Trey Lance, people make excuses, yada, 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 whatever. DeMeco did a way better job. I mean, it's easy. I guess it's easier developing a safety than a quarterback, but still, man. I mean, he's not a premium athlete. He's a 5th round pick, and DeMeco's got the most out of him. It's really quite impressive. And I'm wondering, if something goes really south and the Niners lose a lot of games and Kyle gets himself fired, is DeMeco in the running to be the head coach of this team? Like, is he George Seifert was a very successful coach of this team. He was a defensive guy. Could it happen?
I honestly wouldn't want it to happen. Just you need Trey Lance to be someone with teamed up with the offensive side. If anytime, unless you have like a veteran quarterback, then I don't want the head coach to be a defensive guy. As great as DeMeco probably would be and can be, he needs to.
Who's your coordinator? Who's your offensive coordinator? Who's your quarterback coach?
Exactly.
That's a tough question to answer. Yeah.
And the way that so many defensive head coaches or defensive coordinators becoming head coaches now, like I feel like not many of them are calling plays. Like Robert Saleh doesn't. I don't know if Eberflus does. He might, but I know there's a lot of them that don't. It's like we picked you to call the plays. Do what you do well. So, which is I'm wondering if he's going to call plays wherever he gets hired next year. But yeah, I think it's got to stay with Kyle, because who else is going to bring up Trey Lance? I mean, we talked about last week. Sean Payton Rouse the only one you can go to, and then at that point, if it's not Kyle or Sean Payton, who's DeMeco Ryans going to entrust it to? Brian Griese still, or is he going to bring his own guy? And now you have really a raw ball Clay who's injured coming back with rehab, and it's going to be way too much. Yeah.
Well, DeMeco is quite intriguing, and every week that he pitches another shutout, I'm thinking like, man, I mean, you got to at least interview him. You got to at least interview him and hear what his plan would be for the offense, because he's looking like a legit coach, like a legit head coach in this league.